This training video is brought to you by K Alliance. K Alliance is the 21st century's educational corporation, specializing in the most comprehensive enterprise training solutions, ranging from e-learning to instructor-led training. Press play for success. After watching this video, be sure to become a Facebook fan to receive the latest updates, promotions, and course releases. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel to preview the latest desktop, soft skills, and IT training videos.
When you're working in your document, you want to make sure that your page setup is the way you want it. So there are a few things I want to take a look at with page setup. Let's go ahead and look at a document that I've created, and I just have it zoomed out so you can see 3 pages at a time. And this is the actual orientation that I want. This is called portrait, but let's take a look at what happens when you change the orientation. So let's go into the ribbon for page layout. So you click on the tab for page layout, and then the section we want to talk about here is the page setup section. And let's start with orientation. So orientation is either top to bottom or left to right. And currently we have it portrait, which shows top to bottom is the longest, but let's switch to landscape. And what you can see happens in landscape is, whoops, I don't really like the way that that just turned out, because what happened is the way my pages were breaking, well, the first page looks great, but this page over here to the right, not so great. So if I did want to keep it in landscape, I definitely want to go in and figure out how to put this page back the way I'd like for it to look. So let's go back to orientation of portrait. I'm a little happier with the portrait look. And let's talk a little bit about the margins. By default, you're going to have a set of margins already set on every single piece of paper that you open inside of Word. So what you want to decide is what works for you. What this one has currently is 1 inch all the way around, but let's look at how it changes the document if we switch to a really wide margin with 2 inches on the left and 2 inches on the right. And you can see how it dramatically changes the document. Now if you look at the first page, my picture still hangs out over here to the right of the margin because it doesn't automatically resize the pictures, but you can definitely tell a difference in the text. The text now looks dramatically different because of the new margins that we've created. So let me go back to margins and put this back to 1 inch, but you can see how easy it is to adjust the margins anytime you'd like to. Also, before I leave margins, I just want to point out you can also go down and customize your margins if you have a specific margin size that you'd like and it's not here in one of the most popular sizes that are available. All right, so another thing that we want to talk about is the piece of paper. In America, most people use letter size paper 8.5 by 11, but if you are working with international companies, check what size paper that they use when they print, because you might discover that they use a different size paper, and then you'd want to have your document set up for whoever is going to be printing that around the world. And then the last thing I want to look at in the page setup, you may need to put in page breaks at some time inside of your document. So where I want to click is right here in the middle of my page. Well, it's not quite the middle, almost the middle. I decide that I want all the graphics to start on the next page. And so I clicked my mouse just in front of that heading that says navigation pane. And back up on the layout tab, I'm going to click on the drop down here for breaks and tell it I would like to put a page break in. And you can see what happens is it quickly says, all right, everything else you're going to move over to the next piece of paper, and the rest of page 1 it has been left empty. Now when I do that, page 2 here, now something is creating the extra space in here. So if I don't want that extra space, now because I've put in that page breaks, the spacing that I had set up that looked great maybe doesn't look so great anymore. So just remember, anytime you're working in the page setup, make sure you go back and check your document, because if you see, as you have seen, as we've been working with this, what happens is sometimes we mess things up by making a change that we really like. So just be sure to go back and double check, take a scroll through your document, and make sure any changes that you made didn't change something that you didn't want.